I walked into a gun shop in Texas last month and asked the owner about a specific pistol model. He looked at me for a second and said, "We don't carry that anymore." I asked why. He leaned across the counter and said quietly, "Because every single one comes back. When a gun dealer tells you they refuse to stock a model that is still in production, still being advertised, still sitting on shelves at big box stores, you should ask yourself why." Today we are breaking down the 9 firearms that gun dealers are quietly refusing to stock in 2026. Not because they are illegal, not because they don't sell, but because the warranty returns, the customer complaints, and the liability risk are not worth the profit margin. And number 1 on this list is a brand that used to be a dealer favorite until the recall rate hit 35%. If you want to know which guns to avoid before you waste your money, subscribe right now. 1 click and you could save yourself from buying a gun that will spend more time at the manufacturer than in your hands. Let's go. Number 9. Kel-Tec P17. The P17 launched as the affordable .22 pistol for recreational shooters. 16-round capacity, lightweight polymer frame, price point under $200. On paper, it looks like the perfect plinker. But here is what dealers know. The return rate on the P17 is running over 20%. 1 in 5 guns sold comes back with the same problem: failure to extract. The extractor on the P17 is a thin piece of stamped metal. It bends under use. Once it bends, the gun will not eject spent cases reliably. Customers bring them back frustrated. Dealers send them to Kel-Tec for warranty work. Kel-Tec replaces the extractor. The customer picks it up. 300 rounds later, same problem. The cycle repeats. For a dealer, that means labor hours processing returns, shipping costs, angry customers, and zero profit on a gun that only had a $30 margin to begin with. Multiple shop owners told me the same thing. We stopped ordering them. The headache is not worth it. When dealers are walking away from a gun that sells easily, that tells you everything about the real-world reliability. But wait until you hear about number 6, because that one has a recall rate dealers describe as catastrophic. Number 8. Taurus G3 Toro. Taurus pushed the G3 Toro hard in 2023 and 2024. Optics ready out of the box. 17-round capacity. Competitive pricing at $350. It should have been a bestseller. And it was, for about 6 months. Then the problems started showing up. Dealers report that G3 Toro pistols are experiencing slide cracking around the optic cut. The milling for the optic plate weakens the slide. Under sustained firing, stress fractures develop. Some slides have cracked completely. Taurus issued a silent recall, meaning they never announced it publicly, but dealers received a service bulletin. Affected pistols get a new slide. The problem is that no one knows which serial number ranges are affected because Taurus never published that information. So every G3 Toro is a potential liability. Dealers are stuck. Do they sell a gun that might crack? Do they disclose the issue and kill the sale? Or do they just stop carrying it? Most chose option 3. In the used market, G3 Toro pistols are selling for $200 or less. That is a $150 loss in under 2 years on a gun that was supposed to compete with Glock and SIG. Dealers know, and they are walking away quietly. Number 7. Smith & Wesson CSX. Smith & Wesson launched the CSX in 2022 as their premium Micro 9. Metal frame, single stack, 12-round capacity with extended magazine. It looked like a modern take on a classic design. Price point $700, premium tier. Dealers ordered them expecting strong sales. Then the warranty claims started. The CSX has a feeding issue with hollow point ammunition. The feed ramp geometry is too steep. Defensive. Rounds with wide hollow point cavities jam on the ramp. Customers buying a carry gun expect it to run defensive ammo reliably. When it does not, they return it. Smith & Wesson has acknowledged the issue internally but has not issued a recall or a redesign. They are telling dealers to recommend ball ammo for break-in. That is not acceptable for a $700 carry gun. Dealers are tired of explaining to customers why their premium defensive pistol will not feed defensive ammunition. The CSX is disappearing from dealer inventory, not because it doesn't sell, because the customer satisfaction rate is too low to justify the shelf space, and this is where it gets worse. Number 6. Rock Island Armory VR80. Rock Island marketed the VR80 as the affordable semi-auto 12-gauge tactical shotgun. AR-style controls, detachable box magazine, Price under $600. It flew off shelves initially. Then dealers discovered the real cost. The VR80 has a return rate that multiple dealers described to me as catastrophic. Failure to cycle, failure to extract, gas system failures, magazine feed issues. The problems are across the board. And here is the kicker. Rock Island's warranty service is slow. Guns sent in for repair take 8 to 12 weeks to come back. During that time, the dealer has an unhappy customer calling every week asking where their shotgun is. Some dealers told me they started offering full refunds just to make the problem go away. But that means they eat the cost because Rock Island does not refund dealer purchases on warranty returns. It is a financial trap. Order 10 VR80s, sell them all, 4 come back. You refund the customers to preserve your reputation. You are now in the hole on the entire order. Dealers are done. The VR80 is being pulled from inventory across the country. When a gun has a return rate so high that dealers lose money, even when they sell every unit, that gun is dead in the water. Number 5. Canik Mite SFT. Canik built a strong reputation with the TP9 series. Affordable, reliable, good triggers. The Meat series was supposed to be the next evolution. Improved ergonomics, optics ready, and for the first year, it was solid. Then something changed. Dealers started seeing meaty SFT pistols coming back with a specific problem. The trigger return spring is failing prematurely. The spring loses tension. The trigger does not reset reliably. Shooters experience dead triggers mid-string. It is not every gun. It is not predictable. But it is happening frequently enough that dealers notice the pattern. Canik has not issued a recall. They are replacing springs under warranty on a case-by-case basis. But dealers are stuck in the middle. When a customer buys a carry gun and the trigger fails after 500 rounds, that is a trust issue. And trust issues do not get fixed with a new spring. Dealers are quietly moving away from the Meat series. They are going back to stocking TP9 models that have proven track records. When a brand's new flagship product is less reliable than their older budget line, something went wrong in development. But number 3 is worse because it involves a safety recall that was never made public. Number 4. Springfield Armory Hellcat Pro. Springfield launched the Hellcat Pro as the bigger brother to the original Hellcat. Longer grip, higher capacity, optics cut standard. It should have been an automatic bestseller, and sales were strong initially. But dealers started noticing something. Hellcat Pro pistols were being returned for trigger issues at a much higher rate than the standard Hellcat. The trigger safety blade on the Pro is occasionally failing to disengage fully. This causes a gritty, inconsistent trigger pull. In some cases, the trigger will not break at all until the shooter applies excessive force. Springfield is handling it as a warranty issue. They are replacing trigger assemblies. But they have not issued a recall or a public statement. Dealers are frustrated because customers are comparing the Pro to the original Hellcat and asking why the more expensive model has a worse trigger. The answer is quality control, and quality control problems on a carry gun are a reputation killer. Shops that specialize in concealed carry are dropping the Hellcat Pro from their recommendation list. They are steering customers back to the original Hellcat or to competitors. When your premium model performs worse than your budget model, you have a serious problem. Number 3. SIG Sauer P365 Fuse. SIG launched the Fuse as the compensated micro carry option. Factory integrated compensator, slide cuts for optics, everything a modern EDC gun should have. Price point $750. High end for the category but justifiable if it performs. Except it doesn't, not consistently. The comp ports on the Fuse are creating a carbon build-up problem. After 200 to 300 rounds, carbon accumulates in the comp cuts and starts affecting slide velocity. The gun runs slower. Malfunctions increase. SIG's official recommendation is to clean the comp ports every 150 rounds. For a carry gun, that is unacceptable. People carry guns because their life might depend on it. They do not expect to detail clean the compensator twice a month. Dealers are seeing Fuse pistols returned because customers did not realize the maintenance requirement. SIG is not taking them back. They are telling dealers it is user error. The dealers are stuck eating the returns to keep customers happy. The Fuse is being pulled from carry gun displays. Shops are recommending the standard P365 or the XL instead. When your flagship innovation becomes a customer service liability, it is time to walk away. And now we get to number 2, the gun with a recall that dealers say should have ended the model entirely. Number 2, Palmetto State Armory Dagger. PSA launched the dagger as the American-made Glock clone. Glock-compatible parts, Glock-compatible magazines, Glock-compatible holsters, price point $300. It was a brilliant market move, and initial sales were massive. Then the problem started. Early production dagger pistols have an out-of-spec slide issue. The slide rails are not hardened properly. Under use, the rails wear prematurely. The slide starts moving loosely on the frame. Accuracy degrades. In extreme cases, the slide can come off the frame during firing. PSA issued a silent recall for early serial numbers. They will replace the slide. But here is the problem. Most buyers do not know about it because PSA never made a public announcement. They sent notices to dealers. That is it. So now dealers have customers walking in with used daggers that might be from the affected batch. The dealer has no way to know without calling PSA with the serial number. And if it is affected, the dealer has to tell the customer their gun is unsafe. That is not a conversation that builds customer loyalty. Dealers are walking away. The dagger had potential, but when you launch a gun with a safety defect and handle it quietly instead of transparently, you lose dealer trust. And dealer trust is everything, but number 1 is the worst because the recall rate is over 30% and the manufacturer is still advertising like nothing is wrong. Number 1. Taurus TX22. Competition. The original TX22 was a home run for Taurus. Reliable, affordable, fun to shoot. Dealers could not keep them in stock. So Taurus launched the competition model with a longer slide, a better trigger, and a higher price point at $400. It should have been another winner. Instead, it became a disaster. The TX22 competition has a documented failure rate of over 35% in the first 500 rounds. Failures to feed, failures to eject, broken extractors, broken firing pins. The problems are widespread. Taurus is handling it under warranty, but the volume of returns is overwhelming. Dealers report wait times of 12 to 16 weeks for warranty service. During that time, they have angry customers, tied up inventory, and zero cash flow on guns they already paid for. Multiple shop owners told me they stopped ordering TX22 competition models entirely. They still stock the original TX22 because that one works. But the competition model is killing their reputation. Customers assume if the competition model is broken, the brand is broken. That is not true, but perception is reality in retail. When a manufacturer keeps advertising and promoting a model that has a 35% failure rate, they are burning dealer relationships to keep sales numbers up. And dealers are done. The TX22 competition is disappearing from gun shop shelves across the country. Not because customers don't want it, because dealers refuse to carry a gun that comes back more often than it stays sold. Those are the 9 guns dealers are quietly refusing to stock in 2026. These are not internet rumors. These are real-world reports from shop owners who are walking away from profit because the headache is not worth it. If this video just saved you from buying one of these, share it with someone who is about to make that mistake. Subscribe because next week we are covering the guns that are actually selling in 2026 and why dealers can't keep them in stock. No hype, no marketing, just real numbers from real shops. See you in the next one.